What's going on, y'all? This your main man, KC for Air Wrestling Takes, here to report to you. I told y'all I was coming back to give you my honest thoughts. Yes, it's 2 days later. I've had 2 days to sit on it. I've seen everybody and their grandma. I heard so many people say this was AEW's best pay-per-view, yada, yada, yada. Was it their best pay-per-view? No. Was it a great pay-per-view? Mm-hmm. I'll give it that much. We got a lot to break down. We got the pre-show to break down. My bad, y'all. I'm sorry about that. We got the pre-show to break down. We got what happened on the pre-show, the video package of a returning superstar. What's the status of Ricky Starks? Because we've been hearing rumors about him. Like I said, I got word Mike Santana is out the door. He is going to NXT. It's already a done deal. He's going. One of the biggest flops in AEW history so far is Proud and Powerful. Tony Khan missed the bag big time on P&P, which is Santana and Ortiz becoming the AEW Tag Team Champs. They failed. They miserably failed. That is a failure on Tony Khan and company. That is a blemish that they just going to have to live with. The biggest what if. Like I said, Mike Santana just got tired of sitting around doing absolutely nothing. So maybe Triple H and Shawn Michaels can do something with him. I wish the cat the best. Because Mike Santana was good. Dude was good. Like I said, the on and off again situation between him and Ortiz and Eddie Kingston and whatever drama was going on backstage. But Mike Santana is officially heading to the WWE. It is official. Now, I don't know when he pulls up. I'm not sure, but he is on his way. I'm assuming it's going to be after WrestleMania and after Stand and Deliver. So that's just pencil it in because it's going to happen, fans. It's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. Revolution live from North Carolina on Sunday. This was the Sting Show. I call it the Sting Show. That's why everybody in the grandma pulled up. They had over 16,000 sold out. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. One of the major reasons why AEW television is hard to watch is because of the crowd size. It's because they go to these big arenas and they can't fill them up. And that is just a huge downfall. That is a huge miss on Tony Khan and them. Why? Tony Khan's number one goal should be putting butts in seats. And how do you put butts in seats? By getting people invested what you're trying to present on television. Yes, you have all the good wrestling going on. And yes, we got plenty of great wrestling at the pay-per-view. Plenty of it. But ladies and gentlemen, great wrestling does not put butts in seats. The reason why everybody and their grandma packed that place out, they wanted to see the man Steve Borden go out with one more final bang. And boy, was they in for a treat. Sunday night, the main event, they got, listen, that boy Darby Allin, y'all know I call him Jack Skeleton, a.k.a. Johnny Knoxville. If you ain't never seen Jack A, if you ain't never seen The Nightmare Before Christmas, that's him. That is Darby Allin 1 and 2 mixed together. He's Jack Skeleton meets Johnny Knoxville doing some of the most unnecessary stunts while looking like a freaking skeleton. Listen, match was crazy. It's insane. I got a lot to talk, and we already know what the most important. Well, it wasn't the most important match, but it sure was the match of the night. Takeshita and Will Ospreay. Man, listen, we got a lot to discuss. So let's go ahead and get into the review. Let's break it down. First matchup that had absolutely no business on the show. I get it. You want to have Jay White on the show. So let's go ahead and let's do the Bang Bang Scissor Gang versus Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, Satin Unseen, Private Party, and Willie Mack. Now, I don't watch Ring of Honor TV, so I don't know when Willie Mack turned heel. Don't know when, but he must have turned heel when ain't nobody watching. I told Tony Khan what he needs to do. He needs to figure a way to get people to care about Ring of Honor. But as of right now, I'm not finna waste my time watching an app that don't nobody watch. I told you. I'm not like these hardcore AEW shields that watch everything AEW and strictly just AEW. That's not how I move, ladies and gentlemen. I don't get down like that. But don't know how this goofy 6-man team got together, but apparently that's how it worked. And this matchup was all over the place. This was useless. This was a waste of time. This was just so Jay White can be on TV or at the pay-per-view. A waste. This is what we get on Tony Khan's case. You don't need everybody and their grandma on the freaking show. If your story don't make sense, if it's not a pay-per-view worthy match, keep that crap off the show. This is why the shows be so freaking long, because Tony Khan is like, Let me tell you something. Tony Khan is, listen, he's such a nice cat, and he wants to please his employees. I get it. But, bro, you need to tell some of them, look, man, it's my fault that your storyline is trash. It's my fault. I'm the one that booked you like a straight up goof. I apologize for that, but let me tell you something. Your story ain't important enough. So we can do this trash. They could have did this trash on Collision. Get it out the way. Get this filth off the show and put it on Collision, and then set up something for Dynasty, which is the newest AEW sensation coming out. The newest AEW pay-per-view coming up on April 21st is AEW Dynasty. Now, if Tony Khan ain't got a streaming service by then, I don't know what the clown he doing. Because listen, yes, some of us got the money to do it, but I know a lot of people ain't finna sit up here and spend $50 dang near every month. You done lost your freaking mind, Tony Khan. Get yourself a freaking streaming service and get it fast, because the games is up. The games are up. I'm not playing no more. Everybody that's watching me, we ain't playing no more. Let's go. Let's go. This trash match, didn't give a rat's behind about it. It's bang, bang, scissor gang. They won. They took care of business. After the match, Jay White got on the mic and he cut a promo, said that and next week he said he got some big business of his own to handle. A lot of people been on social media complaining about Jay White. They say maybe he could have been better off in the E or something like that. Tony Khan here heard everybody on Dynamite. We getting Jay White versus the guy who just want to kill himself. I'm talking about Darby Allin. The matchup is set up. I think a Okada Jay White feud is in the mix. Now, here's the deal. What the clown are we doing with the Trios Championships and the Ring of Honor 6-man titles? What I personally thought that's what the matchup was going to be. Tony Khan needs to get his act together concerning the Acclaim and Bullet Club Gold. And you know what? Let me tell you something. Juice Robinson is missed. If you don't understand or feel that his presence is what got Jay to where he was, it had a lot to do with Juice Robinson. As crazy as the best it was that he was with the whole looking like my dude, the Honeycomb Man, me one Honeycomb. I'm telling you, they just fit together. That's how the Guns were able to just gel all four of them. It's just foolishness that they're trying to do with Anthony Bowens and Max Caster, who continues to keep messing up his rhymes. Now listen, the first time I think that was legit, but now it seems to be something going on. I think it's a storyline that's going on because the Acclaim, they're not doing anything with the 6-man. I mean, with the trio titles, they're not doing anything. This is why we say a draft is needed. If you really want us to get behind your trios division and you want people to care about your trios titles, focus them on freaking Collision. Quit trying to mix up the tag team and the 6-man. Quit doing that stuff because nobody's going to give a rat's behind about the titles. They are worthless. They're a waste of time. I'm trying to be nice, but I'm telling you the bold-faced truth. Like I said, I don't want nobody coming on here telling me that all I do is praise Tony Khan. No. I get on his case when he do stupid stuff. And the way that these trios titles don't mean nothing, that's on him. Make us give a crap about the 6-man or the treat, whatever you want to call it. Make us care. We don't care. We just don't take a dump on it. That's just how it is. But he cut a promo, and like I said, it is what it is on that. Now, this matchup, I've been kind of hard on them, but see, now I found out why Julia Hart ain't been on TV as much. Julia got a shoulder injury. This is starting to be a serious problem with Tony Khan. And every time somebody gets a championship, somehow, some strange reason, they end up getting hurt. This is not right. Listen, cats need to start working safe. Like I said, because we should be caring about the TBS title. They did this tag team match basically to protect Julia because, like I said, she ain't 100%. So I didn't really have a problem with this being on here. I know a lot of people. I know. Salute to my main Ace Ariel. I know he can't stand this fine sister right here, Willow Nightingale. Yes, Willow Nightingale is fine, just like Chris, just like Julie, just like Scott. Bro, quit hating. This girl right here is beautiful. They actually won. Now, the right woman got pinned because I actually had them losing, but the right woman got pinned, which was Sky Blue. She got pinned. Y'all know I'm a huge Sky Blue fan, and it ain't just the fact that she from the backyard. You know what I'm saying? It ain't the fact that she got a booty. It ain't got nothing to do with that. I'm just a fan of Sky Blue. I like Sky Blue. I think she has the potential of being next in line. It's just, again, It goes back to the clown that's booking the show. How many times do I have to say it? It's the fool that's booking the division. That's Tony Khan. That is the fool that you got to get on his case. We get on his case because, well, I get on his case because I know he can do better. Now, the rest of y'all get on his case and y'all just straight up don't like him. Me, I want to see this young man do well. He has the potential, but he just got to get the clown about his way. He don't want to. But like I said, this is a good tag team match. Chris and them won. Obviously, this whole situation going on with Stokely Hathaway being a manager, I don't know how far this is going to carry them, but obviously that's what's up. Now, here's the deal. If Chris ain't getting another title shot out of this since they beat him, because it's well-deserved. I mean, they did beat him. Now, Julia didn't get pinned, but you might as well go ahead and set up the matchup, Chris versus Julia, one more time. But guess who's going over? Julia Hart. As long as she, like I said, I don't know what this stinks about her shoulder, but like I said, she had the tape on. So like I said, now it makes sense why Julia Hart ain't really been on nothing. It's because she been hurt. And that's been a serious problem with AEW. It's like too many times cats get championships and then they get hurt. It's like, what is going on? What is going on? So we get on to the main pay-per-view picture. We open up the show. DG versus Christian Cage for the TNT Championship. Very good matchup. Got the crowd into it. A lot of fans was hoping and wishing that DG got the job done. And throughout the match, Christian faked the injury angle. He faked the injury, which was the angle for the whole matchup. So DG took advantage of that. Even though the number game was against them, the Wayne family was all out there. Shayna Wayne, Nick Wayne, Killshot, they all out there trying to cause a distraction. Now, a lot of people thinking, okay, maybe this is when Adam Copeland comes back. Adam Copeland did not show up at all. He didn't show up one bit. But Daddy Magic, he pulled up. He pulled up to try to get Kill Switch out the picture. So now it's just Christian and Daniel Garcia. They're going. They doing what they got to do here and there, but it didn't go DG's way. Christian Cage got the win because Nick Wayne, with the distraction from Shayna Wayne, his mama, Nick Wayne popped up out of nowhere, knocked him out. Christian did the kill switch. I still call it the unprettier. He did the unprettier, match over. So like I said, decent opener, solid. Got the crowd into it. You know, fans is upset because they wanted DG to win, but the reign of Christian Cage it continues. I was about to say begins. It continues. So, like I said, solid opener. All right, let's move on to this matchup. Now, this was a hard-hitting, beat the brakes off your opponent. I'm going to grapple you and do what the heck I got to do with you type of match. So the storyline about this whole match between Eddie Kingston and Bryan Danielson, this is a respect factor. Every match that Bryan is in is always about, you want my respect, you will have to beat me. That's basically what Bryan has been doing. Now, I thought maybe this might be the one championship that Bryan could get, but it looked like Bryan ain't interested in winning no championship. And besides, this is the final run too, by the way. Because after this, he said it, calling the career. Now, I don't know if he's going to be done wrestling it as a whole. I think he's just going to be on a part-time deal where he just shows up when it's a special moment. You know what I mean? There were times throughout this whole match, these cats was just knocking each other. I mean, you would see them. They just sitting there pound for pound. Pop here, smacking each other on the chest, smacking each other across the face. I mean, these cats was tearing each other up. Just beating the brakes off each other. And it was times that it looked like Eddie Kingston had Bryan beat. There were times where Bryan had Eddie Kingston beat. But at the end of the day, Eddie Kingston retained his championship. Now I'm starting to think, I wonder what Tony Khan is doing here. I wonder if TK is going to let Eddie Kingston hold on to this for me. I don't know. Because let's be 100%. The Continental Crown, Triple Crown Championship should be the main championship for Collision. That's how it should be positioned. But again, you know what Tony Khan does? It's the open challenge. Anybody can get a shot no matter what. There's no story behind it. And that's what a lot of people don't really get. That's why a lot of people don't really care about Saturday night. I'm like, TK, you the one that decided to get all these championships. You got to put forth an effort into getting cast to care. The Triple Crown Championship should be the main focus of Collision, while the AEW World Championship is the main focus of Dynamite and Rampage. That's how it should feel. It should feel that important. But Tony Khan don't care. He's just interested in, hey, wrestler A, you wrestler B, and we got a match. That's not how it works. Like I said, I wish I could have a sit-down conversation and tell TK, the way how you book your other championships, they should feel that much important. The Triple Crown Championship should be the most sought-after championship on Collision. That's how it should be. Eddie Kingston shouldn't just be wrestling any Joe Schmo just because you don't know what the clown you're doing. It shouldn't be like that. But that, again, this is what Tony Khan like to do. Like I said, good match, very good matchup. Like I said, Eddie Kingston retains. Oh, so after the matchup, fans wanted each other to shake each other's hand. They was playing games as if they didn't want to do it. And then eventually they end up shaking each other's hands and all that stuff. And then backstage, they both sat down and talked about how much they had respect for one another and all this stuff. And when Eddie Kingston walked off, he said, I effed him up, Cool. It is what it is on that. So, next. Is this the big meaty man match? Hold on. Let me double check. Sorry about that. My mouse is acting up. Let's see. I think it is. I think it's the big meaty man match. Yeah, it's the big meaty man or little man or whatever you want to call it. Mix AEW All-Star matchup or whatever, scramble match, whatever. Once again, this is one of those. I gotta make Warlow look good, but I also gotta have everybody and their grandma on the show. And then a clown named Magnus from CML that don't nobody know about. Yes, I've seen Magnus before, but why was he even in the match? These are the clowns that was in the match. Hook, Will Hobbs, Lance Archer, Magnus, Brian Cage, Dante Martin, Chris Jericho, and Warlow. I told everybody this matchup was just for Warlow. It was for Warlow. I really didn't give a credit. All they was doing was just bouncing off each other, and boom, it was the big dudes get in there, they just pounce off each other. Then the little dudes get in there, they tried to do a little something. I was like, it's just for Warlow. That's all that matters. Like I said, this might have been the worst match on the show, but the fans, they was running around here talking about meat. Then they was running here talking about skinny meat, pause. It's a joke. This match was, again, Tony Khan, let me tell you something. This match could have meant something if throughout the weeks, all of these clowns would have been running up on each other, beating the brakes off each other. Because everybody wants a shot at the main championship. So if you really wanted us to care about this, you could have been having weeks in, weeks out, where everybody would just jump one another. Everybody would just mess with each other. Let's say I'm in the individual matchup, then this clown come up and cost me. Then this other clown just white. It's just random. Yes, Tony Khan is the king of random, but guess what? This match would have made more sense if every one of these clowns would have been costing each other in matches that they were in, single matches or tag team matches or whatever. They would be costing one another. So then Tony Khan or whoever was in the back was going to have to figure out a way. Okay, since you all want to quote unquote get a shot at the main championship, since you all can't quote unquote stay out of each other's business, we're going to have a scramble matchup, and things would have made more sense instead of Tony Khan. Hey, I know you guys want to be on the show, and I don't want to make you upset. So let's just throw you all in together in a goofy clown match that's just made up and it's random and sick, and we're going to make sure Warlow goes over. Like I said, Hook looked decent in it. Will Hobbs, best spine buster in the game. He does this so flawlessly. Every time I see him do it, I'm like, man, if only Tony Khan would get behind Will Hobbs and quit changing up something. They tried this one, and they did this, and they did that. Now I'm like, man. And then Lance Archer, we don't never see Lance Archer. He just come through for once a month. I'm like, how are we supposed to get behind them? Then, like I said, the Magnus clown from CML, I'm like, we see Brian Cage and Dante and Chris, but I'm like, bro, what? You know what I'm saying? But again, this is Tony Khan's book. So if I had to give him a mark down on here, this trash match right here. So then we get ready for OC and Roderick Strong. Now right here, ladies and gentlemen, this is where everything started to pick back up. Y'all know I'm an OC guy, but it's been a long time coming. OC had to lose. The Kingdom come out there. Roderick Strong basically manhandles OC. OC with the connector tape all around, looking like a beat down man who needs to be somewhere resting his body. He really tried, but Roderick Strong murdered this man. He tore his behind up. He destroyed him. I said, go ahead, Roderick Strong. Got the job done and absolutely won clean. That's the crazy part. He won clean. I thought somebody was going to come out and screw. He won clean. That's now, guess what? The Kingdom got two. Let me tell you a positive that took place, even with the Meat Man match or whatever you want to call it. 2 back-to-back wins for the Kingdom. Warlow, who's a part of the Kingdom, Undisputed Kingdom, and Roderick Strong. So there's your positive right there. Like I say, from here on out, the Kingdom should be beating down everybody. It should be a beat down week in, week out. Ain't that what they was doing before they was revealed as the Devil's Goons? Well, continuation. Keep it going. Cats get jumped left and right. Ain't that what you want? After the matchup, a surprise return. We got Kyle O'Reilly, who looked like he been through the ringer. Got in there, hugged Roderick Strong and the fellas, but looked kind of as if he wasn't really down, but he was cool. And I've said, now, what's about to play out right here is he hasn't got it back into it with the man himself. You know who. Y'all remember what happened in NXT. If you watch, you remember the situation between him and Adam Cole. Adam Cole. So we're gonna find out, because as of right now, they say he's in, but he's not really in. That's what the storyline is right now. Tony Khan got to make a whole lot of sense of this. We're gonna find out, but it's good to see him. Good, I can say, because word was Kyle O'Reilly was not really going to be able to come back to pro wrestling. He wasn't. That's how messed up he was. It was the neck situation and some other situation. He was messed up. He'd been gone for about 2 years. He'd been out of wrestling for at least about 2 years now. So it's good to see him back. What's next? What's coming on after that? Okay. This matchup right here, even with it being as good as it was, did not deserve to be on this pay-per-view. Now, I understand. Yeah, and there's another thing, too. I had FTR winning because they are from North Carolina, if I'm not mistaken. Tony Khan did not let that happen. Dax Harwood was bleeding all over the place. I'm like, shocking that Moxley didn't get busted open, because normally Moxley, that's all he know how to do. But as of late, Moxley ain't really been bleeding, so I give him props. Normally, first thing Moxley do when he get into a match, he start bleeding all over the place. But this time it was Dax Harwood. Dax Harwood said, no, go ahead and bust me open. These four men, they beat the style of each other. It was a great matchup, but again, matches like these that really don't have too much story really should not be on the show. So you get rid of this matchup and you get rid of the Scissor Bang Bang Gang match, and if you get rid of the Meaty Man match, that's 3 matches is gone. Or what I would have did, I would have put the Meaty Man match on the pre-show. I would have put the Meaty Man match on the pre-show, and then put the women's tag team right after that. Then guess what? Bye-bye to the Scissor Bang Bang Gang crap, and bye-bye to this matchup. Cut it the dead weight so the shows won't be that long, because somebody is going to get messed up, or somebody's time to actually get this story across is going to get messed up, and we're going to talk about it coming up, because I believe their matchup is next. But and I forgot to talk. Pac cut a promo about him, like, where have you been? I guess he on his way back. Pac is another one. Pac is great, but he just get hurt too much. He gets hurt. So we had 2 semi-returnees. Pac ain't back, but his promo is saying he's on his way back. So great. Yes, this matchup. Now, I was looking forward to this matchup because of the story that was being told. 2 former friends, one changed. Like I said, don't know why she's acting this way, thinking she's Marilyn Monroe, while the other girl's coming in and she wants to prove herself to not only the locker room, but also that she can beat the brakes off of her former friend or whatever. Now, before the match started, after Deanna had came out there, Tony's music, old school music, the one that she used to have when she was in WWE land, Mariah Murray came out there dressed exactly like old school Toni Storm. You remember how she used to dress when she used to have the Nelly tape underneath that? You know how Nelly used to have the one piece of tape on his eye? That's how she came dressed, with her hair out and with a baseball cap on backwards, and she came dressed out like that. And a lot of people got starstruck, like, wait a minute, like, no, that's not Toni, that's Mariah. But she looked exactly like her. So then she come out with the whole black and white thing and everything. So let me tell you something. This match, it was a decent matchup, but the problem was that because of the time constraint they had, they really didn't have enough time to get across what they wanted to do. And guess whose fault that is, ladies and gentlemen? The man Tony Khan, because he wants to quote unquote please everybody and their grandma. I told you, cut the freaking dead weight. You cut the dead weight, you ain't got to deal with problems like these, because now cats got an opportunity to get across what they want to tell. And listen, Yes, it was a good match, but like I say, it's just they didn't have enough time to get across what they wanted to do. So because they didn't have enough time to get across what they wanted to do, a lot of people was like, you know how it is. I don't have to explain. You know how it is when you watch matches like these and you see how everybody's reacted. North Carolina been hot all night, but they kind of was like the meaty man match. They were kind of quiet, and then same with this situation right here. And I'm like, that's Tony Khan's fault, because I personally thought Deanna and Tony were out there having a great submission. Basically, it felt like it was a submission match, because Deanna Perosa is a submission specialist. If you ever watch any of her matches, she will try to make you submit in seconds. And Tony, she ain't bad off herself. So I knew, I was like, okay, let these girls go out here and try to come up with something. And they tried, but they only had 12 minutes. I said, Tony, cut the dead weight. We don't need to have these long man shows with matches on the show that have absolutely no business being on the card. I feel like a freaking broken record. We talk about this day and day every AEW pay-per-view. Every AEW pay-per-view, this fool has to constantly put matches that don't belong on the show. Therefore, somebody's time is getting cut. Guess what? Mercedes is coming. You know she ain't playing. You know she ain't playing with this. Like I said, TK, we got to get this stuff right. We got to get it right now. Games are up, bro. The freaking games are up. So, like I say, you cut the dead weight, we wouldn't have this problem. Deanna loses, Tony retains the championship, on to the next. Now, what the heck is on the horizon for Deanna? I don't know. And I'm going to be 100% with you. Deanna Perosa is well known, or she shines better as a heel. That's another thing too. So the fact that she came in as a babyface and Tony as the heel, that's probably another issue that kind of messed up things, because normally, like I said, when I was watching on Impact, she was the glamazon, the virtuoso is what she called herself, and she was running the place. Cats couldn't beat her. They could not beat this girl. Now she come over to AEW land and she trying to take out Miss Marilyn Monroe over here. I'm like, but we'll see. Only time to tell, because it wouldn't shock me if somehow, some way down the line, real fast, Deanna ended up turning heel. It wouldn't shock me at all. So that's that. Now, these two right here, ladies and gentlemen, Will Ospreay in the last, let's see, I've got familiar of him. I want to say 2020 was when I first heard about Will Ospreay. And I didn't know who he was. I just knew he was some cat from London. That's all I know. So I didn't really see no matches. I've heard about him. I heard, yeah, this dude, he's legit, you know. Then 2021 came and I got an opportunity to see him close up. And I seen a couple of matches he had, and I said, this boy is good. This dude is he's good. I got to get up to this man. Will Ospreay right now he stated his case as being one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. He is stating his case right now. Like, I'm not ready to give him that stamp, but as of right now, in today's wrestling, you can put him up there. You can, I mean, he goes hard in the paint. And then Takeshita, man, I'm like Takeshita. The Don Callis family should feel like a very important stable. But because of the booking that Tony Khan does, you don't never see Takeshita in them. And then when you see them, they doing stuff that don't make no type of sense. When you got somebody that's going to go in the ring with you and they're going to make magic, that's what these two did on Sunday night. Takeshita and Will Ospreay gave us a classic times 50. The chemistry was there. These fools were trying to break each other's back. They were trying to break each other's jaw, break each other's neck. These fools were trying to murder each other. Because the storyline about this is two cats is associated with Don Callis family, who's one of the best members, whatever. That's basically what the storyline was. Was it a weak story? Of course. But guess what happened? These two went out there and gave us a straight mat classic. I mean, they demolished each other. I mean, they tore each other up. Insane to the membrane. I said, whoa. Listen, I thought Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega was great. Listen, Will Ospreay be going out. Look, he had a classic with Mike Speedball Bailey from Impact when they came out here to Chicago for Bound for Glory. Listen, it's like whoever he get in the ring with, He finna cook. Now he get ready to go against his guy that's in whatever they trio. He going against Kyle Fletcher on Dynamite. Now listen, I'm not the biggest Kyle Fletcher guy. I personally think Kyle Fletcher signs in a tag team with his guy Mark. Mark has been out the door. Mark has been hurt. Mark had I think he broke his hand. He broke his hand in London at All In. So that's why he been gone. It was his wrist. He broke his wrist. Mark should be on his way back. Kyle O'Reilly is about to give this young man one of the best matches he had in his life. And he looks to him as he's going to be next up. When he steps down, when Will Ospreay says, I'm finished with this wrestling stuff, you're going to be my successor. Based on how he was looking after the matchup. He won the match after he beat Takeshita. They shook each other's hands and all of this and everything. I told you the split is coming. I personally believe that's what's going to happen. Because Will Ospreay keep going against everybody, more than likely he's going to end up wrestling Will Hobbs. You know, that's coming. That's going to be something. Because it's two completely different. That's a big man, and the size that he is going at it. So that's going to be something when they finally officially get it on. But what a match. Takeshita, Will Ospreay, they over-delivered. And I said to myself, we got, 2 more matches? I said, ain't no way. I said, I don't know how the triple threat and the tornado tag team match, I don't know how they're going to follow, but I'm going to give them props. They tried their best, and they were solid matches. We're going to get into them. So that's that. Yes. Triple threat for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. Swerve Strickland, Hangman Page, and the AEW World Heavyweight Champion himself, Samoa Joe. Now, the storyline about this is Samoa Joe is the champion. He just got it. Hangman is a man who feels that everybody turned on him because the guy right here, who everybody is liking, not only disrespected him, but came into his house, quote unquote, messed with his child by putting his shirt up in there, just all of this stuff. And he is obsessed. He would do whatever it takes to make sure that this brother right here don't become AEW World Heavyweight Champion. There were multiple times throughout this whole match, Swerve looked like he was getting ready to get it done. Samoa Joe was getting jumped out. Listen, there's a picture of Swerve doing that famous kick. Swerve got the hardest kick. I don't know what that move is called, but he straight up just kicks you straight in the face. You can see, they took the picture. Samoa Joe's face was like this, y'all. I say, that's one of the most deadliest kicks I've ever seen. It's deadly. Hangman out here doing all this crazy crap, beating up referees, and you know, in the triple threat, there's a no DQ match. In triple threats, no DQ, so it's allowed. Beat the brakes off of my man Paul, then he beat the brakes off of Brock. Bryce. He beat the brakes off of Bryce. So, make a long story short, Swerve looked like he was ready to get it done. Prince Nana gave Swerve his crown that he usually wear over his do-rag. And he usually wins. He usually knock cats out, and that's how he win matches. He threw it down and said, no, I'm going to win this fair and square. Because, see, Swerve is potentially turning into the face that a lot of people is getting behind. This dude is going to win it. I don't know when he's going to win it. But Swerve got knocked out. He got knocked out the match. He hops in, right, to quote-unquote try to stop the pinfall of Hangman trying to pin Samoa Joe. Then Samoa Joe straight up throw him out. He gets tossed out the ring again. Then Hangman get back up in there and try to do something. Samoa Joe put him in the doggone community clutch. Now, he barely had him in there. Swerve was ready to hop in there and stopped him from tapping. Now, normally when you in the Kalina clutch or whatever it's called, you don't tap. Samoa Joe put you to sleep. Hangman he knew what he was doing. Hangman purposely tapped because he said, whatever I do, I'm going to make sure you don't win this AEW World Championship. So now, the story begins of the rise to the top of AEW's first black World Champion. The story is there. There is the story, ladies and gentlemen. This is how you get behind somebody. Now, here's my deal. A lot of people is wondering, because word is going out, Hangman's going to quote unquote be suspended for a long time. So what do you do for Swerve? I know there's a lot of talk about these two being together because, quote unquote, one of the major reasons why a lot of people got behind him was because of him doing the shucking and jiving dance. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if because he didn't accept him from giving that crown thing to him, so he didn't use it. He did not use it. So I wonder if this man is officially going to turn on him, and now the embassy is no more. The embassy has officially going to turn on Swerve, which will give Swerve in the meantime to focus on trying to take them out. But here's the deal, because Warlow won the All-Star matchup or whatever it's called. Warlow is the new number one contender. Swerve got to go back to the bottom of the barrel now. Now he got to work his way up to the top. Now he can say, look, I wasn't the one that tapped. So if they want to, they could run it back at Dynasty. They could. I'm not sure. I don't know which way Tony Khan is going, but I'm telling you right now, the story of Swerve becoming our first just got started. And I wouldn't have booked it any perfectly well. I've seen people online doing their usual acting a fool, but for the most part, this is perfect. This was perfectly booked. Hangman is doing everything in his power. I said it. Look, the way how I said it was, the white supremacist white guy is doing everything in his power to make sure that the black dude don't win the championship. That's basically how I said it. That's not how Tony Khan booked it, but if you want to throw it to that extent, you can. But it was booked perfectly. It was booked perfectly. I ain't had a problem with it. See, a lot of people was wondering how in the world was they match going to follow. It's the story. Ladies and gentlemen, story matters in pro wrestling. That's all I say. I say this over and over and over. You can't just go out here and have a great wrestling match. You gotta tell a freaking story. And Swerve, Samoa Joe, and Hangman, and Prince Nana, and all the refs that got jumped knew exactly what to do. We gotta tell these fans the story. And the fans throughout the whole thing, you kept hearing, whose house? Swerve's house. They wanted Swerve to win. They genuinely wanted that boy to win. It's gonna happen. Swerve's gonna get his WrestleMania 35 moment. We gonna get his Kofi moment. It's gonna happen. I don't know when, I don't know where, but when that day comes, you know I'm gonna be acting the fool. I'm telling you. Listen, we got on Swerve's case for that foolishness he did towards the end of last year. He got called out for it. He realized it was a terrible decision. That's why he pulled it. That's why don't nobody knows that. I don't even think he released the song. But like I say, in the meantime, I'm behind him. I want to see him eventually get it done. Don't know how Tony Khan will be able to tell the story, but I'm on board. He got my full attention. So that's that. Now we move on to the main event. Ladies and gentlemen, this right here was bananas. This was all over the place. Sting had a whole bunch of old school fools pulling up. Lex Luger pulled up. Nikola, I forgot his last name. I know he was the Russian wrestler. I remember he was on that show that was on Lifetime. It was about preachers. It was about preachers and what they deal with their families and stuff like that. He was on that show. It was on Lifetime. Somebody, if you remember, it was on Lifetime. It was about 3 different preachers and preachers' daughters. I think that was what it was called. I think it was called Preachers' Daughters. He was on that show because it was about preachers and their kids and what type of lifestyle they live. The father is a preacher, but the kids are kind of crazy, and that's basically how the show was. He was on that show. If you know what I'm talking about, he would. That's what I remember when I seen his name. I said, "That's right." I didn't watch because he was before my time. He was back in the early 70s and 80s, but he knew Sting. They used to wrestle together back in the day. But like I said, he was on that show called Preacher's Daughters or something like that. It was on Lifetime. That's where I remember him from. He pulled up a whole bunch of old school Ricky Steamboat. He actually got involved in the matchup. Listen, right from the jump. After the Young Bucks came out there, after Darby came out, they had Sting sitting in an old school movie theater, and they had him just watching his whole career from when he first started off as Surfer Sting to the Crow to Wolfpack to Joker to all the different versions of Sting that he revamped himself throughout his almost 40-year career in the business. It was great. It was fantastic. Like I said, if it's one thing you can give Tony Khan props, Sting's AEW run in these last 3 years have been booked perfectly. They have been booked. You can't hate on it. If you hating on it, that's just you. It's just a you problem. This is the one thing I give Tony Khan props. He's booked Sting perfectly. I'm making it up. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. But as soon as the match started, Darby just threw himself on the Young Bucks, and y'all seen they had glass all over the place. They had 6 chairs set up with a sheet of glass on it. You knew somebody was going through that. Then they had another sheet where they threw Sting through that. So Sting went through glass and all this crap. I said, now if you notice, Darby Allin, the only one that ain't got no doggone shirt on. You know he going through it. Ric Flair came out there trying to get involved. Like I said, Ricky was out there doing a little something. It was, listen, and his sons even got the ball. That's right. When Sting he came out, his sons were dressed up like his old school self. One was dressed up like Surfer Sting, while the other was dressed up like Wolfpack Sting. It was a cool moment for everybody, for the whole family, everything. Young Bucks weren't going down with a fight, even though the odds was definitely stacked against the Young Bucks. Let me tell you something. Normally, when it's a situation like these, the heels are the ones that outnumber the baby faces. This time around, it was the baby faces outnumbering the heels. It was the Young Bucks versus everybody. You can say the Young Bucks got a hold, but it is what it is on that. they got screwed, you know what I mean? But they tore each other up. Like I said, Darby Allin's silly self jumped off a freaking ladder he called himself trying to jump on the Young Bucks, but Matt saved Nick, pulled him, and I said that fool went through that glass, and when he was laid out on his back, you could clearly see all the blood, all the glass that went through his back. The blood was just good. It was a nasty scene. It just looked nasty. I say Darby Allin is Johnny Knoxville meets Jack Skeleton. That's exactly who he is, ladies and gentlemen. He's a crash test dummy. That is his gimmick. He don't give a crap about his body. He don't care. And I've seen fools online complaining about it. I'm like, Darby gonna do what the clown he want to do. We can't tell him what he can't do. If he don't want to end his career early, that's on him. It's silly. It's unnecessary, but that's on him. Like I said, Sting got thrown through the doggone table in the back. I mean, they went all over the place. Just insane to the membrane stuff. Sting put both of them in the Scorpion Death Lock, which is basically a sharpshooter. But he put them in a Scorpion Death Lock, and the Young Bucks went through everything. They tried everything to win these tag team titles. But the Young Bucks did the right thing. They put over Sting. Sting's entire AEW run, 29-0. He finishes his career in AEW undefeated. Yes, they relinquished the championships. Great match. Great moment for everybody. Salute to the Young Bucks. I know a lot of people can't stand their behinds, but look what they did. They made Sting and Darby Allin look like the greatest tag team of all time. That's basically what they did. After the matchup, because of time constraint, Sting had a farewell promo for the fans. It got cut off, but if you want to go see it, it's all on AEW's YouTube page and everything. So after all this is said and done, I went back. Like I said, I had 2 days to sit on this and everything. The pay-per-view for me was a very good pay-per-view. It was a bounce-back pay-per-view. World's End was hot garbage. Tony Khan said, look, I know the show is long, but you're going to get your money's worth. 8 out of 10 solid show. I personally want Tony Khan to just narrow down his shows to where the important stuff belongs on the show. If it's not important, keep that mess off. Keep it off. Because the shows be way too freaking long. I'm like, man, TK, could you please make your shows shorter, dog? 1 match on the pre-show. 8 matches or 9 matches on at best 8. I'll do 8. So 9 matches altogether. 1 on the pre-show. This way, all the 8 that's on the main card, everybody got time. But heck, if you even want to, you can shorten it. 1 on the pre-show, 7 on the main card. And I know we got lots of clowns that got to get their stuff in. But if your stuff is not important, this is what All In is for. If All In is going to be your WrestleMania, that's where you can have everybody and their grandma at. Right here? No. Shorten it. Shorten it. Put the most important stuff on it, and we can run around and say, because let me tell you something. I haven't given TK a 9 out of 10 since All Out. I think All Out was the last time I gave him a 9 out of 10. I think I gave him a 9 out of 10. I haven't. Everything has either been 8 or 7. You know what I mean? This was the 8. This is a solid 8. Cats did work. Cats did what they were supposed to do. Ladies and gentlemen, that's my honest take about the show. Now the real test starts. You gave us a great pay-per-view. Now it's time to get the television, the TV right. TK, if Dynamite is trash, I'm destroying you I'm destroying you Thursday morning on my way to work. Let's call it for what it is, because I don't do the reviews right afterwards like I used to. I'm going to destroy you on Thursday morning. So Dynamite better be great. We got Dynasty coming up in 7 weeks. The build-up to Dynasty starts Wednesday night. It starts when we can't play this game of this coasting foolishness crap that don't make no sense. Cut the mess out. Cut it out. Ladies and gentlemen, I got to get climbed up out of here. This your main man, KCFL, King Self for Life Wrestling It Takes. If you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. Hit the like button. Make sure, like I said, whatever you thought, what's your thoughts on the show? Hit the comment section up. Tell me how you feel. Hey, I got to get the climbed up out of here. Holla at your boy.